Alright guys, Such here back again today. Hope you're all enjoying your Wednesday is today, and a lot of stuff to discuss. We got some announcements over the last couple of days or so, and you know, Teddy Rex joining the Seattle Surge. We'll go into that in a second, and some other rumours surrounding Rostermania and how the substitute stuff continues. Also, of course, wanted to talk about the launch of Season 1, they're calling it, for the Call of Duty Modern Warfare game that we are stuck with for this year, and effectively it has broken the game more than it already was. Clearly the bug checking on the side of Infinity Ward is not the best, and also we have effectively no changes to the competitive play. It's you know, all the issues that we have with the game right now, the spawns, etc., just to brush the surface, have not been addressed in this update. And even the update that did to some degree, I thought, maybe address that by bringing back some classic maps such as Crash, has also they've made changes that go against the fundamentals of competitive play, which you know, at some point, maybe in a couple of days, maybe in a couple of weeks, I don't know, I'll make a video talking about Infinity Ward's neglect of competitive play on the whole, but there's more to talk about in that than there just is we're going to discuss today. You know, if the story continues, right, I don't want to jump the gun too early, but I feel like now it's getting to the point of, well, okay, hang on a second here, we're a month and a half into the game, no sight of ranked play, of course, but you know, as I say, topic for another day. There's other stuff to discuss today. First of all, thought it was an interesting tweet that Ghost HD, you know, @s me in on Twitter. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter and @ me in anything that you guys think I should bring up in the video, any video ideas, feel free to do that. And you know, Dachi says his best teammate ever is Karma. Very interesting, given how the whole thing went down. Karma now on the Surge. Dashi is stuck on Los Angeles OpTic. From his perspective, at least, he didn't really seem to be too happy that he had to still be on that team. There was all that drama we talked about a while ago. Adam Apicella confirms the following: the esports engine company started since the MLG effectively collapsed. That division no longer needs their support. It still exists, but Adam Apicella has moved on with a lot of his team over to esports engine, and as Hex said in the Eavesdrop podcast, they are going to be helping NRG produce the Huntsmen event. So this is very exciting stuff. They're also helping the New York team, I believe, as far as I'm aware. A couple of clips to show you guys then. Two-back Thuglord says he was offered 3 different substitute spots. I'll play the clip. The rumor is right now to the Huntsmen, but no announcements as yet.
This game that I've seen, I've been offered 3 sub spots for a CDL team.
So that's pretty interesting. And just to finish off here with the Rostermania announcement, Seattle Surge a couple of days ago announced Panda and Proto joining on the substitute bench. Today, or yesterday, they announced Teddy Rex is going to be joining the team as an analyst and an S&D specialist. So expanding the roster beyond 7, which is quite interesting given that I thought that team, the Seattle squad, might be pretty highly salaried, right? You've got Slacked on the team, you've got Apathy, you've got Karma, Octane and Enable, of course, is the squad. So looking at that, then you've got to bring 2 more substitutes in Panda and Proto to still have the money within the salary cap of about $1.25 million. To bring Teddy Rex in is, you know, obviously decent going for them. They've managed their finances relatively well to be able to do that, given the minimum salary is 50 grand a year. Interesting, considering we've just seen how the Mutex situation went down on the Dallas Empire. Teddy Rex is kind of historically a similar kind of guy. Does seem to have had a better, more friendly stream over the last couple of years, though I would say, yeah, analyst, S&D specialist. I like the sound of this, as I was talking about the other day. The likes of, you know, Two-back Thuglord is the perfect substitute you want on a team, because you don't want to have to fork out the money to have an amateur squad, which means that the players like Parasite and Pharaoh, Spacely, Nagafen that want to play in the amateur side will not be able to do so if they're a substitute on your team. Instead of that, you get a guy that doesn't really want to do that anyway, that wants to be search and destroy focused, like a Two-back Thuglord, like a Teddy Rex, ideally like a Mutex, but you know, clearly that didn't work out, as we have seen. Interesting pickup. We'll see how this helps them, or doesn't help them, whatever, in the coming season, but I'm sure some of you guys have watched Teddy for a number of years and are happy to see this in the works and in process. So let's go through the updates that happened for Season 1. Yesterday, Season 1 came out, effectively all really exciting, a big exclamation mark here by the Infinity Ward guys. This is what happened, and for the competitive scene, pretty much nothing. Crash 24/7 was added. This is a pretty big deal, to be honest. They added some of these, I'm not sure if they added all the maps, but they certainly added Crash. And my thought process, because they said they were going to add Shipment and Vacant, I'm not sure if they've dropped yet, maybe they haven't even been on the game to say, but there was a thought that Crash especially could be good for the game battles scene, for example. I was quite looking forward to playing this map because it was good in CoD 4, Modern Warfare Remastered. Definitely would add to the game battles experience if that was added into the GB rotation. It's maybe not be going to be, it's probably not going to be played in competitive play. 5v5 is definitely too much for Crash, I think, in my opinion. Vacant may work, but unlikely, and of course Shipment's not going to be there. But possibly you could have Crash in the GB variant rule set, right, on game battles that you can play online. So So I was hoping that they would do the obvious thing and just keep Crash as it was, right? Just as it's been remastered in the past, from COD 4 to COD 4 Remastered, everything stays the same, there's no issue. However, that hasn't happened, as we'll go into in a second. Some other changes here then, some things have been removed. Let's just make this a little bit smaller, that should just about fit on the screen. So yeah, Riot Shield, a couple of bugs have supposedly been fixed, thermites, infantry assault vehicles, gunfight, some missions and challenges have been changed, but not really a big deal. FMG on kill streaks, the weapons, the 357 reduced damage range, tuned hipfire spread, miscellaneous SMG fixes. Not really much has changed here, as you can tell, and the only real thing that's related to CoDcaster here is sort of related to competitive, is some improvements to CoDcaster, or some supposed improvements. In the past, we've seen they've tried to improve CoDcaster, and it hasn't really worked out as they intended it to. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened in this update. For competitive play, nothing related to the spawns, nothing, all the issues that we currently have with the game, nothing really has changed. So this is just a classic. And not only has nothing changed from the issues that we're complaining about, but also some things that you would have thought would have been changed, or the changes that they have attempted to make have in fact backfired, and the game is even more broken than it already was. Thought this is an interesting point from Lawns here that points out to me, this is on the homepage, right? The Huntsmen, if you guys can see that, stalk your prey, hunt them down like dogs when you, you bag this pack. So they're trying to sell something here. Now, look, it just frustrates me how you've got an outfit called the Huntsman, but yet you're making no relation to the Chicago Huntsman. Like, that would be a perfect, brand thing to do, right? If, do the people who make this even know that there is a franchise league on the side with a team name of Chicago Huntsman that you could potentially do some sort of activation with here? Clearly not. It's just very frustrating. This is what I wanted to share with you. S&D is chalked for the current time until this is fixed. When the enemy has bomb and they shoot, it shows them on the map when you bring up the pause menu. I think it also may show on the compass. Some people were saying this is an issue which I'm pretty damn sure wasn't in the game, otherwise people would have figured it out before now. But with this update, that's a change which is now in the game, and honestly just unbelievable, right? They make an update to try and improve the game, it doesn't really improve anything, and then even the things that they do try and change backfire, and we get more issues. I'll just play the video.
Assets identified. We need to keep them intact.
Shit again? Clapping that and putting it into our...
Now, to be fair, Ashton Williams then comes out and says, does this only happen in the pause menu? Kind of saying like, okay, we're going to look into it. I wish they had one of David Michner's 5-minute fixes, as he claims he had, for one of the spawn issues that was brought to light a couple of weeks ago, or one of the issues on the maps. He said he could fix it in 5 minutes. Wish that was the case for this, but very unlikely. Hope probably another couple of weeks until S&D is back to normal. This is a clip I wanted to show you then. So Hutch says Crash is back and it feels good. I'm not going to play it on screen, just going to talk over it. So you can see he's sniping here, takes a kill. Also, just want to pause it real quick. Maybe this isn't the best. Okay, let's pause it right here. This area right here used to have metal fencing. If you guys remember back to the old time, there used to be like some mesh fencing, which meant that if you stood right here where my mouse is, you could not see down through this little head glitch here where the broken wall is, all the way to the spawn. However, now if you stand here, you can see all the way through to the spawn and just spawn trap the hell out of people, which is just, I don't understand why this change was really made. Didn't seem necessary. And then you can see right here, so Hutch is running along. The bomb, if you guys remember where the B bomb used to be over here behind this car. They've moved it into this position, and it's interesting considering all the other maps that they've made in the real game. The bomb placements seem very arbitrary, don't make much sense. Look at St. Petrograd for a decent example, whereas on this map it seems like they've actually made a decision to change the bomb placement, and I don't even know if it's a particularly good decision. Like, I guess this makes it easier for attackers in theory, because you can't be up in the back building and look on it as a defender. Probably makes the B-bomb more accessible outside of, because pretty much it used to just be a straight A rush. But it's interesting, like maybe this is a better placement for the bomb, who knows? Like, it's possible. But why aren't we seeing changes like this made on the other maps that are actually played in competitive? Another thing with this is that you may notice in any gameplay you've seen is that firstly there's a new courtyard on the map, but also doors have been added, which is really the big deal. Here's a door. Every single doorway pretty much now has a door on it, and it's just the most frustrating thing in the world, because this is so annoying for competitive play. You can't get around the map properly if there's a door there that you've got to burst through and someone's going to hear you. Can't sneak around. doors are everywhere. Of course, it makes it easier for the casuals. It makes it easier for the campers, effectively. You're sitting in a building, you're looking one way. If someone comes up behind you, even if he's popped dead silence, if he's got to come through a door, doesn't matter. You just close the door behind you. Like, you know, they've made a lot of changes to try and make this game more friendly to casuals, more friendly to, you know, campers, slower players, new players, right, to the game. And I understand that approach, but they've gone so far the other way with the addition of doors, especially being very abrasive to how enjoyable the game is to play, to be honest, for any experienced player. Thankfully for Hutch here, the doors were open, which allowed him to get through pretty much unscathed. But yeah, really, really frustrating. And they've brought Crash into the game. They've made some changes. Some of them may be good, but the addition of doors just completely ruins the fun for competitive play and really destroys what I was hoping that we would have. And just to show you guys this as well, so this is one of the 2v2 maps. I think it's called Docks. I forget exactly the name, but you know, another glitch, another thing that's wrong with the game. Yes, it's not really for competitive, but some people do play like 2v2 gunfight tournaments. This boat just comes barraging through the map. This isn't something that happened before since the update. Yeah, guess what, right? There's a boat just running straight through the middle of the map. Who even cares? Just ridiculous. And yeah, just to finish off here, Embry Bevel says, this game is literally the World War II season version 2. Decision makers have no clue what people want and too stubborn to listen. Can't wait for the game to finally function with 3 months left in the life cycle. Yeah, I think he's pretty much straight on the money here, and I wish I didn't have to come to you guys saying this. I wish I could be more positive. And you know, I'm a pretty optimistic person on the whole. It's just, you know, I was optimistic for the first couple of weeks that things would improve, but every single update that goes past, it becomes more and more clear that the competitive community is not the focus of this year, with Activision pocketing $300 million in the process. You know, pretty incredible. So yeah, thanks for watching as always. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new. I will see you next time.
10 seconds.
No, what is this? Oh, this is a joke, bro.
Objective in play. Control it. They're taking the objective.
Oh my god.
All in a good day's work.